This is the big station Q95, along with TDN Radio, doing a simulcast for tonight, tdnradio.net, as we continue to cover this simply horrific Hurricane Maria. Two back-to-back Category 5 storms, and yet we deny global warming. We deny climate change issues. So what is this? So what really is happening? Now, bear in mind the eye of the storm, as soon as it enters, it's going to continue basically in a straight line. So when the eye actually reaches Dominica, which I suspect happened a few minutes ago, 8:45, the eye should go across. It should actually cross the island in about, because when the front part of it touches the island, it should go across in about an hour. No, 2 hours. 2 hours, Josh? Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, about 2 hours for the eye to pass. Because it's basically going in a straight, more or less a straight direction. Well, not straight, it's still moving northwest. So more or less a kind of angled across the island. It's not going straight across, it's angled across the island. So it might be a little longer, about 2.5 hours. No, probably 2. I'll keep it at 2 hours, about 2 hours. So we should get the final blast at around 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. Before, and that will last for at least another 2 to 3 hours. And by 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when the storm is going to give some relief. Okay, so if you're listening and if you want to know, I am guessing that we'll be buffeted for at least another 4 to 5 hours of this before it is over. So stay safe, stay put, and of course, we'll be right back. We'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of this monstrous hurricane.
Party girls, don't get hurt, can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down. Shaking to the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake, shake, shake.
We are live here at 12 past the hour of 9 o'clock in Dominica as we continue to Hurricane Watch. We are watching and noticing and observing the passage of Hurricane Maria, which is simply pulverizing the island of Dominica. I just heard from Michel, whom we were talking to earlier. He's telling me that he's lost his roof. This is a new structure, as he was telling us, built about 7-8 years ago, and the roof is gone in Castle Comfort. So that's an indication that many more roofs are gone in that area of Dominica and across the island. Further indication that this storm, because when at the 8 o'clock coordinates, when this hurricane at 8 o'clock was situated at 15.3 degrees north, 61.1 degrees west, and still 20 miles, till 20 miles or 15 miles rather, from the coast of Dominica. Then at that point I realized that it's coming in very low down on the island. And as such, what we are noticing obviously is the damage spread throughout the island. This is complete. The destruction will be complete across Dominica. No area apparently will be spared, and we're going to wake up tomorrow morning to a tremendous amount of damage, just a tremendous, tremendous amount of damage. And it's been, I don't know, something I'm at a loss for words. I still can't believe it. It's been a marathon, you know. I've not had sleep really in 2 days, but I'm not sleepy. I'm worried about my friends, my family in Dominica. I'm worried about these catastrophic winds that is wrecking, just just havoc on Dominica. And so has in fact deserted me. But that's okay. That's okay because friends and neighbors can't sleep in Dominica either. They are wide awake as those catastrophic winds of Hurricane Maria continue to pulverize the island. It's quarter past the hour of 9 o'clock. It will be a little while before the storm clears away. I'm estimating at least another 4 hours of this battering. Obviously not with the same intensity, but the tropical storm force winds that will replace the hurricane winds, that will go on for a while. Because at 11 o'clock tonight, I have the coordinates of the storm as 15.5 degrees north and 61.2 degrees west, which is still over Dominica. Those coordinates are still over Dominica. So I need at least at 11 o'clock, which is just about an hour and a half time, we still need at least another 2 hours to clear fully. So yeah, definitely early morning tomorrow is when this thing is going to clear out. So all I can say, all I can tell Dominicans is to hold on. We are getting learning from Nicole, who is looking at the social media, informing me that the people are getting desperate on the island, asking for help, and there's nothing that anyone can do at this point. No, absolutely nothing. But wait, and that's what we're doing. That's what we'll continue to do. To wait, and it's one of those things, you hope and pray that it will never happen, and then it happens, and then you think you're in disbelief, you're in shock because it actually happened. And these punishing storms. When you think about it, 2 Category 5 storms in such a short space of time, following decidedly different tracks. The Atlantic, I mean, even where the storm started was bizarre, was unusual. But that's what we have, and that's what that's the situation. So we continue to hope and pray. I'm going to try to make contact with a few more folks there in Dominica, if at all possible. And I'm also going to, for the sake of, oh, okay, I'm sorry I missed him. For the sake of, I'm a bit distracted because I am responding to text messages, I'm thinking, I'm doing calculations. So, but I really want to do this because I think for those of us listening, we need to get a sense as to when this thing is going to end. Yes, good evening.
Yeah, doctor, what's up?
All right, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Okay, I just got a call from Nicole Georges. She's one of our part of the Farm TV and radio family, and
Absolutely.
she's a bit concerned because her mom is stuck in her house right now. She's on 6 Jewel Street in Roseau, and her roof is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, right now she's in a very precarious position because she's trying to hold back a door against hurricane force wind
Oh.
to keep herself from being blown away in the downstairs area. So if there is anybody performing rescues, this would be appreciated. So I don't know if you can get anyone to the authorities are listening. Hopefully they can send somebody over there to check on her.
All right. The good thing,
She's on 6 Jewel Street.
6 Jewel Street. The good thing though about this is that I'm expecting that there should be a lull. The actual calm part of the storm should be going over, and hopefully, that's an opportunity for people to regroup, to make a quick dash to somewhere else, and so on. And yeah, this is. But if she's inside though, if she's inside of a building, and even if the roof is gone, what she has to do is to go into a room or into the bathroom and just stay in there and not move. Because trying to hold the door is probably not a good idea, because it will ultimately be ripped from her.
Yeah, that's what Nicole told her, but she's so hopefully she can get a quick breather so she can find herself in a different part of the
house. Yeah.
At least until she can be rescued.
Yes. Wow, this is turning out to be a disaster. This is catastrophic, really. When you think about just the magnitude of the storm, the speed at which it intensified, and just the doggedness to ride over Dominica. It was just so dogged in its it wanted Dominica, but by all means.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't understand how this storm developed into a Category 5 so quickly. It almost seemed like, something that it just changed its mind and just decided, it got some extra fuel somewhere and it decided it's going to be as strong as it can be. This was quite surprising. I know you mentioned it earlier, but it still didn't seem likely.
Yeah, no, but what got me really frightened was when I saw the Hurricane Hunter planes. They had found millibars of 700 millibars in terms of the pressure at in the eye wall, where the really dangerous winds, and that's where they found at 2 o'clock they found 150-mile gusts because it had dropped to 700. I'm thinking, if a storm can drop, the record I believe is 791 or 712 or something like that, and that was 700. And that's what I thought that storm could become a monster. And I can imagine at the time that could generate winds of up to 200 miles per hour. But I just did not imagine that it would have grown so fast in such a short space of time.
That was quite surprising.
Between 5, because 5 it was at 120, 135. Between 5 and 8, it increased by almost 40 miles an hour, within 3 hours.
Yeah.
Almost 40 miles an hour. Where it was increasing on average about 10 miles per hour before that. 10 miles, it was increasing by 10 miles for every 3 hours. It increased in the last period, it increased by 30 miles in strength. So it is really catastrophic, and the worst part is it is not over. I estimate that at 11 o'clock it is still over Dominica.
Yeah, we're looking at another 4, 5 hours.
Yes.
Of this wind and rain.
Yeah.
This is scary right now.
It's scary. It is David, and it is David and Erica rolled into one,
and
really.
Erica rolled
Yeah,
into one. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
But,
Very scary indeed. Wow, well, I really hope that someone hears the plight, and I mean, Nicole is giving us the help with the online, you know, tracing and people commenting, and yeah, it is she herself finds herself in that situation.
yeah, that is not it's not the kind of thing you want to hear, you know.
Yeah.
And I myself have been trying to raise a few other folks myself, and I haven't been able to raise anybody. I know people are probably trying to save their phone power, but especially the folks up in Grandford, I haven't been able to raise anybody.
But what surprises me is that we still have internet connection.
Yeah, well, the thing is, some of the lines are underground, so as long as Lime and Flow and Digicel remain connected to Middle Caribbean, it'll be fine.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that's why in some cases like Michelle, he still has power, so he can power up his connection to his internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as they remain connected to Middle Caribbean, the internet won't go down. And if wherever they house their servers, if they maintain electricity, whether they have generators and mapping as well, if mapping also remains connected. I know mapping has generators. So as long as they have enough fuel to keep power in their servers, I think the internet service will be
Yeah,
all right.
but I thought that was a function of the cell towers as well. That's for cell phones. That's for cell phones.
Yeah, that's for cell phones. Yeah.
All right, you don't need the towers for the internet. What was I thinking? Yeah, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Wow.
So as long as they can maintain. Well, you do need the towers for cell service for the 3G and the 4G, but as long as towers remain up and they remain connected to the service that connects the Caribbean and the rest of the world, then they will have service. As long as those stay up, and you just need electricity. You need power. So once that remains, and most of them have generators, or backup generators, so they should be fine. At least for tonight. Hopefully, they will remain up all night. The main concern is people can't really use up their charge because you don't know how long it will take for the power to come back. Once tonight is over.
Tonight is over. Yes.
By the looks of it, as you've been saying all night, Roseau, Dominica is gonna look completely different.
It is gonna look. Sam, I don't know if you're a superstitious person, but I was just thinking about it. A few years ago, when there was and I'm not talking politics, I'm just talking reality. A few years ago, 2 years ago, in fact, when there was the May affair in Salisbury, and there was a Salisbury protest. The government went ahead and decided that they were going to arrest and charge some people from Salisbury. 2 days before they were supposed to appear in court, we had Tropical Storm Erica. Would you believe that today, the 18th of September, 2 days before we are supposed to appear in court, because the government of Dominica decided that they were going to arrest us and give a sermon to appear in court. 2 days before we have the major disaster. I don't know. It could just be coincidence.
Well, I'm not superstitious.
But
I also don't believe in coincidences.
But it just occurred to me that I was supposed to have been in court on Thursday, this week, on the 20th.
I'll say this. All things work together for good for them that love God. So.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Wow.
you know.
Yeah.
That's as far as I'll go. But yeah, I mean, you just, everything happens for a reason. No matter how disastrous it can be. Um, Things happen when they're supposed to happen, and for the reasons they happen, we don't know. But they all work out for good in the end. So you might just be right.
Yep, but it's something
And
something we'll be talking about in the days ahead. But for now, we have to focus on
I guess it's something we'll debate going forward.
going forward. Absolutely,
Like I said,
absolutely.
I don't believe in coincidences. So, all things are connected.
Yes, indeed.
So,
All right, wonderful,
but
wonderful.
hopefully, despite how bleak it's looking right now, hopefully the damage, the destruction will not be as bad as we think it will be. So I'll put that in there.
Yes, well, yeah, I'm still hopeful. I'm still, believing
Yeah,
that it will not be as bad. Yes,
yeah.
so we
So
shall see.
um, yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll see if I get any more info on anything else. I will get back in touch with you,
All right, wonderful, wonderful.
or if I get in touch with anyone else.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And of course, if you're out there, if you are getting information from Dominica, if you're in contact with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, they're giving you information from Dominica, we would like to hear about it. This is the big station in Q95. We've been there for you throughout this thing. And if you can send this information to us, 617-6482. That's 617-6482. We're using WhatsApp. The WhatsApp only. Send the WhatsApp. Send the photos. Send the videos. Send the chart. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know what is going on. All right. Okay. I'm going to read this for you as I say it. I'm being told that the roof of the Prime Minister is gone. The Prime Minister's roof is gone in his house. I'm not sure if it is his house that he lives in at Mont Daniel, or if it's his house in Viecas. But we have been told that Prime Minister Skerritt's roof is gone, and that there is flooding in his house. All right, that is interesting. I just want to report this just as we get it. All right, the news obviously is circulating around on social media. And in case you're wondering, the storm is still over Dominica. It will be for another couple of hours. So the damage is not yet done. We expect the flooding to continue. We expect this. Let's see if we can contact with our man there on the ground. Mr. Joshua Francis. Let's see if we can make contact with him. Yes, Josh. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Yes.
Tell me, what does it sound like now? Does it sound like we're in a calm, or is it still raging?
You can hear the howling of the wind outside there, very powerful.
Okay.
I'm getting reports that a number of roofs are missing in action.
Well, including that of the prime, including that of the Prime Minister, I'm being
Of the
told.
Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yes.
So you heard the same thing.
That is his residence at Mont Daniel.
Oh, okay. That's what I was trying to find out, to determine whether it was his home or whether it was just his residence up at Mont Daniel.
Right. I'm trying to think myself which one it is.
Okay, but I'm guessing if he's in it right now, it's most likely the residence
All right.
at the one at Mont Daniel. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What other reports have you gotten from Dominica?
From Dominica, well, just tremendous amount of roof damage. I just spoke to Michelle. He says that his roof, or at least most of it, is gone. That's a brand new structure at Castle Comfort, about 7 years, brand new. A number of homes in La Plaine have been, the roofs are going. Nicole, who is monitoring the social media for us, is telling us that a number of Dominicans within Dominica are posting that they need help. They are really panicking. Some are crying, obviously concerned. I can imagine to some people that sounds like the end of the world, because when you hear this howling wind and and it starts in one direction and goes in another and comes back, and yeah,
Right.
it can.
So some people are in panic mode and they are putting on social media that they want help because they
Yes.
feel like their roofs are gone.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Not knowing exactly what to do, in that situation. But Josh, it's good that we can get you. I mean, you are nice and loud and clear. So that tells me as well that the storm most likely is easing up a bit, which I would expect. And then you get that final blast for another probably 2 to 3 hours. At 1 o'clock in the morning, we should start to breathe again. You know. But from where you sit, what more are you hearing? I guess you're communicating with anyone on island. Are you able to?
I was, but for one reason or the other, most of the persons who I corresponded with broke. Something broke, a windshield, something glassy, something just.
Something
Yeah,
just I'm thinking, Josh.
Hey, just stay there, don't move. Do not move, don't open it. Just leave, Dr. Fountain, right here at my home, a glass window has just smashed, literally.
Wow.
So
Yes, Josh. Now, did you open? I forgot to tell you that you needed to open one of the windows on the windward side to allow the air, because if the pressure builds up, it will cause the glass to explode.
Right. Well, there were a few windows that were slightly open.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And it's still having the pressure to
That is the reality, Dr. Fountain. I am experiencing the reality, and I think that I'm in one of the safer houses. So if what I'm experiencing is the reality, I can only imagine how it is for a number of persons.
Yes.
Remember, throughout the day, we kept telling people, if your houses are not strong, get out.
Yes.
And we kept telling people, during this storm, it would be too late. So
Yeah.
I just pray that we do not have casualties in the morning. That's my greatest blessing.
Yes, it's still a worry and uppermost on my mind, because in these kinds of storms, invariably, you have loss of life, sadly. And no matter how you talk to people, no matter how you coach them, no matter how you appeal to them, people simply don't take you seriously. They don't think it's going to happen, and sadly, that happens time and time and time again, So I'm hoping and praying that everybody stays safe and that, yeah, we have no such issues come the morning.
I know.
Yeah. Now, are you able to look outside at all from where you are?
No, I'm not opening here. I'm just leaving it open in case we have to go inside. Just clear it up, please. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was wondering if you're able. I wanted to get a sense as to if you can see any visible signs of flooding from where you are on the streets.
Yes, there would be. Right inside my home, flooding. It's very serious, Dr. Fountain, and as I said, right now I am being affected, I can imagine, for other persons. That's my concern right now, thinking of relatives and friends who are in areas I know which are not very safe.
Yeah,
It's a horror that's passing over Dominica now.
yes, and I'm hoping that the people in Petit Savan actually left there, that no one stayed in Petit Savan, because this area is we're going to have mudslides there again, and in Good Hope.
Right.
I'm hoping that people got out from those areas. And when we spoke to Mr. Judge
Those things doesn't matter. Right now at this hour.
when we spoke to Mr. Judge very early on, as you can well imagine, Josh is still busy. The storm is still ongoing. Still a lot of activity, trying to keep away on top of the situation. But I'm just so grateful that we are at least able to talk to him and converse with somebody in the midst of this Category 5 hurricane. For the very first time, Dominica has been struck with a Category 5 hurricane. And who could have guessed? Coming just a matter of days, just a matter of days after Category 5 Irma wreaked a path of death and destruction across the northern Leeward Islands. And it is not over. This is not by any means over. We expect that after the hurricane clears Dominica sometime early in the morning, it will move across, possibly to Montserrat, possibly to St. Kitts and Nevis. These are all under hurricane watches, and goes across the warm waters of the Caribbean Sea. We expect that it will rejuvenate itself. Whatever steam it loses over Dominica, which I don't think is much because it's just not going to stay long enough to lose much steam over Dominica. Whatever steam it loses over Dominica is going to go over the warm waters of the Caribbean Sea, rejuvenate itself, and it's going to take aim for the British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. And that's going to be in quick succession. We're talking about Wednesday night. This storm will be over Puerto Rico as a major Category 5 hurricane. And you wonder about the kind of destruction that it has in its winds. And as we continue to reflect and pray and hope that all our compatriots in Dominica are safe, we continue to bring you live coverage of this unbelievably catastrophic Hurricane Maria as it continues, even at this hour, to pummel Dominica. I came on air, relayed to Lennox at about 3:30 this afternoon. So it's now roughly 6 hours and 11 minutes since we've been covering the storm. And yet we continue because it's still not yet over. It is still over the island, still bringing rain, and we expect the rain to continue for at least a further 3 to 4 hours, still bringing strong winds and still threatening life and property on the island. We'll continue to bring you the latest on this storm of the century, storm that took Dominica by storm, really. We'll be right back. This is the big station and TDN Radio. Yes, we are going to do this and we'll continue with this. In fact, let's do this at 18 before the hour of 10 o'clock. Let's take this one that we can just kind of reflect just a little bit, and we will be right back. This is an unbelievably difficult night for us here in Dominica. Unbelievable.
Cast my mind to Calvary, where